Level up your hunting game and join the cause. Help preserve small-town Texas hunting culture and become a more successful hunter by learning the best ways to squeeze the most out of your budget and precious time out in the field. Welcome to the Feed Bandit podcast. Here are your resident bandits, Richard Kincheloe and Jimmy Byrne. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast. Jimmy back with you, along with Richard. What's going on?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Doing good, man. Doing good. We got almost an inch and a half at Rancho Bandito this past Monday. It's fantastic. Given that we've had, I think 5 inches the entire year. It's been terrible. We got the rain, so I'm in a good mood when it comes to all that. God knows.
All right, awesome, yes, awesome. Well,
yes, sir.
Today, what did we want to talk about?
Yep. So, today is a very solemn podcast. We lost another great hunting partner. Couple of weeks being, late March, we unfortunately, my bird dog, the love of my life, my first baby, we had to put her down. So that was the way it had to be. And regardless if it's a bird dog or just a pet or a cat or a Wolverine, whatever kind of pet you keep, it's never easy. Obviously, it's extremely tough unless you hate that pet, and then that's a joy, of course. But with Scarlett, she was our first kid, and we had her for 13 years, which, as you can probably imagine, Jimmy, I'm stunned that we had her that long with as many problems as she had. And when I say problems, I mean she had, first she started out with the inverted vulva, which is the inverted lady part. Then she ended up having the TPLO surgery, which is the ACL surgery, and then she probably lost about, 10, 15 gallons worth of diarrhea in this house, and countless other issues that she's had over the years. So we just, and then being a bird dog on top of that, we weren't sure how long we'd have her, but man, I'm just so thankful for every second we have with her.
13 years. I mean, that's a long time. Tell the folks her full name, what kind of dog she was, all that stuff. Give her, her.
Yes. No, I'm glad you said that. So we'll go with the lineage. We'll start there. So the Scarlett came from one of our very, very, very dear friend of ours, Jimmy and I's. Dear friend of ours bought a Labrador in the summer of 1999, and we'll go into that story. But her name was Suther Van Glory, which is Latin, of course, everybody knows, for Southern Pride. Our dear friend decided to breed Suther, and when they did, they had another lineage of dogs. They kept one back, and they named that one Lady Raider. So it was Suther's Lady Raider, and then their last name, something of that nature. So when they bred Lady is when we decided to, obviously, to go ahead and pick up one of they were Labradors, to pick up one of the labs. And so Scarlett's full name, is AKC registered, okay? So the whole kit and caboodle was Lady Raider, Scarlet Red Raider, Taylor Potts, Kincheloe. Now, the story behind that whole name, most of you are like, Taylor Potts, I don't get it. Lady Raider obviously being our affiliation with Texas Tech. But the Taylor Potts is another story altogether. So a good friend of ours was in Love Field Airport. This was right when we had just gotten Scarlett. So, we picked her up, I think, in January, January 13 years ago. well, 13 years ago in December. And so my buddy was doing a lot of flying back then. He probably still is, but he ran into Coach Leach, Coach Mike Leach, who was, of course, Texas Tech's football coach at the time. And we had not named, we had a couple of names. We're trying to name her something Texas Tech affiliated, something of that nature, and then maybe combine it with hunting. And of course, I wanted to name her Red because I love the color red. It's, Red Raiders. And my wife is like, "No, Red's a dude's name," and she's not.
I was about to say, Red is an old dog, like old Red,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Red 5 standing by. So simply Red.
Big Red.
yeah, exactly. Red button star. No, it's a Red Fox standing by. Red October. Yes. So now they so that name got shot down. So my buddy goes up to Coach Leach, says, Coach Leach, one of my good friends, he is a rabid football fan, a huge Texas Tech guy. He's a season ticket holder because we were at the time. I say he's got a real dilemma. He just bought a new Labrador. He loves to hunt, and he needs a name for the dog. What do you recommend? And so the story goes, Coach Leach put his briefcase down, middle of the airport. By this time people are gathering because everybody knows Mike Leach, and he looks at my friend and he says, "Does your friend have any piercings?" And our friend goes, "No." And he goes, "Does your friend have any tattoos?" And my buddy goes, "Nope, none of those either." He goes, "Okay." He picks up his briefcase. He goes, "You tell him what I said to name their dog Taylor Potts." And then he walks off. So Taylor Potts, obviously for those who don't know, which is probably a decent majority, Taylor Potts was one of the quarterbacks we had in the air raid system there at Texas Tech for quite a long time. So what he was getting at is we had a guy named Brandon Carter, I believe I remember that name, who was a monster of an offensive lineman, huge, number 65. The guy had more tattoos, more piercings, wore these terrifyingly frightening makeup. And so I think he was thinking about naming the dog somewhere Brandon Carter, but it came out Taylor Potts, which I think is absolutely hysterical.
That is pretty funny. But Taylor could be a girl's name too, I guess.
So for sure. Well,
for Scarlett.
Dude, I never thought about it. I mean, seriously, and all the years I have never thought about that. You're 100% right. Yeah. So, anyways, that's where the name That's where the name came from, and of course, we end up calling her Scarlett. But the whole thing is just how this whole thing came to be is that our dear friend, he had just learned to hunt. His first dove season was maybe it was 2000. He went and got her the grandma Souther Van Glory. I guess first dove season was 99. I actually taught him a dove hunt. And this guy's very strong. So he was shooting an old Winchester that we bought from Walmart, and he would shoot 3 shots. He has a pump, by the way. Shot 3 shots at a dove every single time. And I don't know how many he hit that season, but he was absolutely hooked to it. So we were taking summer school together at Richland. We were Thunder Ducks there in Dallas, and he comes into class one day. Middle of the summer, he goes, I'm gonna go buy a hunting dog. I said, what? I mean, yeah, because I had kind of grown up around them. We never had a hunting dog, but I had hunted with them, and I knew a little something or another about them, but not a whole lot. I'm like, wait, you can't just go. She goes, no, I've been researching it. And there's this place just over the border in Oklahoma. I'll be right back. I mean, literally just as easy as that. I'm like, but what, so of course, this was really before the time of cell phones being all that popular, and he was gone, skipped class, which was kind of crazy, knowing how good he is. So he skipped class and he went and got this dog, and we went and saw it, and he said, "Yep, this is her." And he brings her, and she's just this tiny little thing, a Labrador, but small as can be. And I was like, oh man, I don't know much about lab puppies, but that thing is really small. He's like, I know, but I she was coming to me, and she's got the drive, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, okay. So we really kind of set out to he and I and the handful of other guys set out to train her. And none of us had really had a lot of experience with this. So we gun trained her together out the Rustic Range in Lubbock, Texas. For those who are familiar with that, one of the greatest shooting ranges of all time. We gun trained her out there. Our buddy read Water Dog, which is one of the greatest dog training books there really is. I've read it a couple of times as well. And we got her all trained up, and it's absolutely wild. She was tiny, absolutely tiny. She did not look like the big English or American lab. She was English, so she was short and stocky, but she just wasn't a huge dog, but she was incredible. She was an absolute masterpiece of a hunting machine. She was calm. She was trainable. And God, she was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So Souther really kind of set the bar high, So again, they have the time goes on, and we're obviously he's getting more into dove hunting, and then he breeds Souther and holds a puppy back, and that's Lady. And then he hunts with Lady, and Lady was good, but she was nowhere near like Souther. I mean, nothing like Souther. They breed Lady, and then Lady has the another group, and of course, they hold another dog back, and they call her Maddie. It's his first black lab, Matador, and they just had to put her down this past December as well. And then we, of course, got one, and we kept Scarlett. We got Scarlett, And so I think we got her. I said January, but I think it was actually December. We we went and picked her up, and of course, mind you, this is before we had children, so we had all kinds of money, and we had all kinds of time. And I remember laying in my bed the first night, and we have Scarlett out here in the kitchen in this little compound. I mean, it literally looked like Stalag 17, like a prison camp, but it had water and everything that dog could need. And she made one little whimper. And I remember I was out of that bed. Hello, baby. What can I, taking her out to go potty. Of course, now I look at myself. I'm like, give me a minute. I don't want to pull something. But it was just so funny just seeing how crazy I was with her back then. So, with bird dogs and kind of with kids, you gotta love on them for a while. Then you gotta kind of be, not to say beat their butts, but you gotta keep them in check. And it's funny because I'm sitting here staring at my oldest daughter across the way from me here, and she's kind of like, but it's true. So we loved on this dog, and I remember thinking, okay, here it is, early spring, and this is perfect. Dove season's coming up. Let's get to training her. So we did what Water Dog said. And we'd start in the house. We had this long hallway. We'd start in the house. We'd do a couple of feet train or throw the decoy and then retrieve it. And I bought the the Duralast dog decoys with real dove scent from your area. I spent a fortune on all of this crap. And just because I was in it. I wanted my own bird dog. I Souther. I had lived through that, and that was just incredible. And so Scarlett was doing great. She was retrieving the hallway. We take it outside. She's getting great. She gun trained. She's great. But then, 3 or 4 months into it, and she's gun trained. And the other thing is, it's not only the gun training and the bird dog and the retrieving. It's being out at the ranch. It's being in the back of vehicles. Things of that nature. That's what makes these bird dogs so damn special. Is that they're not just a 9 to 5 dog. They're with you every time. And Jimmy, I know you can attest to that. You've seen it. You're at the deer cleaning station. They're eating guts. We're screaming at them, right?
Going to the water.
Yeah, going to the damn water. When we're trying to go somewhere, when you all need to be dry and rolling around the mud, eating pounds of blackbuck crap. That's just what they do. So it's more than hunting, but. So here we are in the summer, and we're starting to do further retrieves now. I mean, we're talking like get the dummy and 30, 40 yards, throw it. When we're at the ranch, I do a shot, et cetera, et cetera. Well, she just stopped caring. She just stopped going and really doing the long retrieves. I mean, the short stuff she would do, but she would only do it for once or twice. I'm thinking to myself, my God. It's happened. I got the one damn dog out of that whole litter that just doesn't give a damn about retrieving. She's going to be a how. Oh my God. And I was devastated. Again, the young man, no, got a wife, but no children, no other real concerns to worry about. So I'm night and day. I'm stressing about this dog. I get our buddy out there who's trained a bunch of them, the breeder, and even he's stumped. I'll never forget. We're at a park in Richardson. He just kind of shrugs his shoulders. He's like, Richard, I don't know what to say, So I'm naturally freaking out, and it's funny because I'm getting canker sores in my tongue just thinking about how stressed I was about it. And I said, you know what? Whatever. We're just gonna go. We're gonna go give it a shot. So, opening morning. I never really would go out opening morning just because it just wasn't. It wasn't all that productive, especially hunting around water, as we've always talked. But I said, you know what the hell? I'm gonna give it a try. Went to the front tank on Rancho Bandito, and I couldn't help but be excited. Oh my God, here it is, my first rodeo with my dog. This is it. 6 months of training. Yeah, she stopped training, but maybe I'll get lucky. And I can take you there. I can take you to the very spot. And I remember it. I'll never forget it. A dove lands on the ground. She sees it clearly. She holds. I shoot, and she runs after it, picks it up, and comes back. I'm like, oh my God. I'm thinking to myself, this has got to be a fluke. And of course I'm praising her. Good girl. Of course, boy, that first dove, which you'll learn, boy, it's just nothing left. It's
right.
Chewing the whole, crushing all these bones. I'm like, okay, I'm really proud of you, getting my damn bird back. So, she made the chopped beef or chopped dove sandwich before it was all said and done, but sure as hell, I had another one land, and which is just odd. Don't see that many in the morning. Had another one land, same thing. I'm thinking, man, this is incredible. And that was it, man. That was it. 12 years of an absolutely incredible bird dog who never did any training, never fetched a ball, never fetched a frisbee, could care less. That dog would only retrieve dead birds, and she was amazing.
She knew what she wanted.
Yeah, well, she eventually got to know that chewing on the dove was unacceptable, and as she got older in age, I'd pop the dove heads off and give them to her, which she loved, and it was a good thing until you shoot a limit, and then you realize that the limit of dove heads is actually quite bulky, and it can very easily come back up. So a little dove skull over the carpet, and that was the last time we did that. Which is just disgusting. It's just gross. I'm like, you idiot! Why didn't you break any of that dumb stuff down? They're little bird bones, for God's sakes. But so, it was amazing, and I just, I'm not saying there aren't dogs out there, but a lot of dogs require training, and Scarlett didn't. Now the only two flaws that Scarlett had when it came to hunting, one, she broke pretty bad early on. So that was a problem. When I shot, I was so obsessed. Okay. I can remember from the training from her catching the bird and bringing it back. I never was very good at holding her. I'm saying, like keeping her at bay. Now, as she got older, she was really good at it. And man, oh man. So mind you, we put her down this past March, so about a month ago. And but she was duck hunting up until probably she didn't duck hunt this year, but the last year I brought her once or twice. She could hardly see them out there in the water, but she was so good. God, they would fly over her heads and quacking at her and land right in front of her, and she'd see them, but she wouldn't break. It was just amazing. But so breaking was her one fault, which was all on me. The other thing is, when it was cold, okay, I tried to give that dumb dog one of those little, power jackets by Dog Jacket Plus with the new Hydro Grip Flexi Reb protectors, and flotation device with automatic dog treat dispensers. I paid like $300 for the stupid vest, and that damn dog, she'd be like, "Oh, this is great. Let's run around like an idiot, set the decoys." And then as I'm sitting down, she would disappear into the dark. And all I hear is just and I hear the bushes going crazy. When that son of a bitch, that damn dog, and she come back, and guess what wasn't with her? She'd be full of cockleburrs, and that dog had taken her damn vest off, and she hated it. And I'm like, you son of so after, when she started to pork out, she got a little porky. I had to sew the vest. I'm thinking, okay, so I sewed the vest. I sewed the vest with 20-pound fishing line. And by the way, if you ever have to sew anything for outdoor stuff that's washed or whatever, use fishing line. That's another little trade secret there for you, because that's what I've done for years. It's great. Monofilament, by the way. And no, so I had to sew the thing. And even when I sewed it, I mean, it fit like second skin. And she would sit there and just kind of shrug and stare at me like, I hate you. I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to save your dumb butt from freezing out there. But sure enough, she'd shuck it. She would shuck it like you wouldn't imagine. But no, man, other than that, I could not have asked for a better dog. And was she as good as her grandma? No, I don't think so. But she definitely, out of all the dogs that come from that line, she's definitely got the most experience. And it was a real magical experience. And this past weekend, it's kind of fitting. We, at Rancho Bandito, I picked out a nice hill that overlooks our main duck hunting tank, and you can see it from the house. You can see it from our, from when we duck hunt, and that's what kind of bird we call it, Bird Dog Hill. And Souther Van Glory is there, and all of her puppies, or a majority of the puppies that stayed in the group, are there. And we just put Scarlett there this past weekend. So kind of fitting, kind of crazy when we were, saying some last words over her box, before we kind of filled it in. There was a flock of blue-winged teal down there in our main little hunting area, which is kind of cool. So, I think my advice for if people are interested in getting a dog, man, I say do it. I really do. Now, just understand that, it's going to take some requirement. It's going to take some time. And the first question out of a lot of people's mouth are, oh, did you train the dog yourself? I'm like, yeah, I did. And you want to talk about something to have pride in, I mean, listen, you can take your dog. There's 10 billion places in the state of Texas that'll do it for you. And it's great. I mean, it's really, really great. And they're awesome. And I'm not against it. I'm definitely not against it. To each their own. But man, oh man, if you really want to form a bond with your dog and you have the time, that's the kicker. Boy, there is nothing more rewarding than doing it yourself, at least gun training. Gun training is easy, and we can talk about that at a later time. But I tell you something else that I have very fond memories of is Scarlett had several people that she just loved. She loved me. There's no doubt about it. She loved our housekeeper, which is so funny. She absolutely loved Geneva, which is the sweetest lady you ever did meet. She also, I mean, unequivocally loved my co-host here, Uncle Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy was, it was, even in her older age, she was like stink on poo to this guy. And it all started again when she was a pup. It was probably her second summer. We had a beach house, and we were all outside on the deck enjoying some libations, and Jimmy was doing dishes. And I will never forget, somebody said, hey Richard, look at your dog. And I look in there, and instead of dumping the excess food into the trash, old Jimmy's just sitting there feeding Scarlett all of the food. And I swear I pinpoint that day as the day that Scarlett was like, man, I got to hang out with this guy. I mean, talk about not knowing the guy who feeds you, or not buying the hand that feeds you.
I can neither confirm nor deny that actually happened, but I have heard that the quickest way to a dog's heart is through its stomach. So
oh my God! Oh yeah, and so she would do, and of course when she was younger, it was really annoying, and we used to fight it fight it. But as she got older, like the past 4 years, we just loved it. She would do it to everybody. We have this wonderful table at Rancho Bandito that seats like 12 people, and we'll all be sitting around and having a great dinner together, laughing and smiling and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, you'll look and you'll see somebody's arm jerk up, and that's Scarlett's nose. She's got her nose. She's hitting the bottom of your arm to try to get your attention so you could give her food. And of course, it's just such a horrible table manners. But everybody loved it. Even the master trainer himself, the man who started it all, extremely disciplined with his dogs, no table scraps whatsoever. But even he liked it. Oh God, it was just so funny. Of course, my wife was, do something about your dog. I'm like, are you kidding me? I would always the same thing, just a different year. That's a 10-year-old bird dog. That's an 11-year-old bird dog. That's a 13. Just leave her alone.
Yep. She's earned it.
Oh yeah, God knows she has. So, but I mean, again, it was really, really tough. And but the vet said we made the right call. Of course, the vet's not going to say. The vet won't tell you whether you made the right call or not. And but when it was all said and done, I remember the vet saying, listen, I didn't say anything, but when she got up was one of the last kind of visits we took her to, and when she got up, I felt her heart rate increase. I mean, she's in a lot of pain. She just was old,
Yeah.
And I think she also had some other stuff cooking inside of her that an MRI could have seen, but I mean, it costs a lot of money, and God knows we already spent a fortune on her. So, but I think my advice for everybody, if you're thinking about getting one and you're a big dove hunter, you're a big duck hunter, my God, what are you waiting on? What an adventure. And I'll tell you, that day was so painful. But I mean, that's one out of just so many incredible days we had with her. And, obviously we missed the hell out of her, but we're moving on. Moving on down the road, and we'll get another one at some point, and that's just the way it goes.
Well, 13 years, she had a hell of a life.
Yeah, she
in
did.
those 13 years.
Yeah, she did.
I'll just say I will miss old Garlic as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I started calling her Garlic probably, I don't know, 7 years ago, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But whether it was, I don't know, her telling her to pee on a piece of carpet or go to the water, I enjoyed my bonding experience with her, and of course, making you kind of freak out a little bit.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, yeah. So Scarlett, her favorite things to do were to hunt, eat, and swim. Well, and roll in Blackbuck crap. So, and it's really kind of in that order. And that dog, when we go to Rancho Bandito, we have this 10-acre lake in back of the house. And all the other Labradors will, they may go to the water once, but that's about it. They'll stay up in the yard and chill. Well, that dummy, even in her ancient old age, would if we let her out, and if it was daytime, she's gone. And there was nothing we could do to pull. Jesus himself could not pull that dog away from going to the water. It was unbelievable. And, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if she would just go to the water and come back. Oh, no. But she would go. Remember, she's a yellow lab. Is a darker yellow lab. She would go to the water, and then she would find the bank that's completely free of grass and convert to a black lab. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we take her to the vet on Monday because we wake up and I'm like, oh, look, Scarlett thinks she's a pirate. Her left eye is completely swollen shut. No, that's because when the dummy rolled around in dirt, she got something in there. So here we go. Another $300 trip to the doctor. And they almost knew it by, or here we go. Like, like, what is that smell? And I'm like, why is Scarlett? Oh my God. And you look at her chest and it's completely rotted. Like her skin is rotted. Right? Because she was rolling in the damn mud. And despite, I mean, Julie and I, my wife and I, would bathe her from stem to stern, but she would still get these horrible rashes. Oh my God. So yeah, all from being, and again, it's just tank mud. There ain't nothing wrong with it. But when you have a fur coat on, it's really tough to get rid of it all. Oh my God. So there was that little chestnut. And when she got older, she really became she really just got I don't want to say gutsy, but she really just said, dude, I don't care anymore. We came home from dinner one time. I'm like, that's odd. I didn't take the sugar out and put it on the floor and spread it around everywhere. Oh no, dummy decided to get into the closet and eat 2 packs of ramen, okay, and then wash it down with half a bag of sugar. So you do a little research and you find out that raw sugar and dogs don't mix. So
well, I can't imagine ramen mixing in there either.
Expanding.
I'm
thinking, which is. I mean, she ate the spice packet and everything, which you can't.
Oh God,
how salty that was. Or then one of the last things she did is we had a dog food bin that stayed right underneath our countertop. Or she was a puppy. Okay, she never messed with it once. 13 years. We come home. This was probably 6 months ago. And I'm looking at her mouth. I'm thinking, son of a bitch. She got into like red food coloring, or she ate a red candle, or she ate something red, because her entire mouth is red. And of course, we're looking around. We're like, what the fuck? And so we look by her. We're looking on the kitchen floor. There's blood everywhere. I mean, not like a lot, but enough. That dummy had laid down and just started gnawing on the corner of her food bin and gnawed through all this plastic with her rotting teeth, to probably eat 15, 20, 3,000 pieces of kibble. So we look at her stomach and it looks like she's got a basketball in there. We're like, I don't care. I don't care that you're miserable. I don't care that you can't lay down, dummy. And of course,
did she throw up or diarrhea?
No. She just went outside and took a gigantic fudge dragon. I mean, I'm talking like this thing was huge. I'm like, yeah, I bet so, fatty. And the next morning she still was like, I'm ready. I'm like, dude, you ain't nothing. No, just stand away. And of course, the other kicker, they wouldn't be so angry if she was on normal food. No, no, she was on this. No. Oh yeah, this mega gastro byproduct food with sheep's fur and
like 5 times more expensive.
Oh, it's like $100 for like a 25-pound sack. I'm gonna kill you, dog. So she ate more gastric GI food than she's supposed to eat in a week. So yeah, needless to say, we didn't have dinner that night or that breakfast that morning. That's for sure. So yeah. Oh, yep, that's it, my friend. But what a great dog. We miss her. We love her. And that's it. So that's what I got.
All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll miss you, Garlic.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of entertaining stuff.
All right.
No doubt.
All right. If that's all you got, you want to close this one out?
Yep, let's do it. We'll come back next week. We'll talk a little late season turkey. I think that'd be something fun. Just a little preview. I've done this so many years. Actually really got back into turkey hunting because of my co-host here, Jimmy. I owe you a lot, and that's just one of the things on my list. And so I've really gotten into it past couple of years, especially with my girls doing it, my friends' girls doing it, other kids. But as many hours as I put into it, I'm still learning stuff. So learned some new stuff this past week. We'll talk about it next week.
Sounds good. All right, folks. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Feed Bandit podcast. As usual, please shoot us an email or something of if there's anything you want us to discuss, any subject matters or anything like that, or if you just have anything you want to tell us. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Other than that, please stay tuned for the next one, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Y'all take care. Thanks for listening to the Feed Bandit podcast. If you like what we discuss on the show, be sure to sign up to our email list to get even more killer hunting ideas, tips, tricks, and exclusive deals on innovative hunting gear and services delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up over at feedbandit.com or simply by texting the word bandit to 33777. See you on the next one, and remember, support your local feed store.